Don Free, they all saw me, as having potential, an intellectual and this kind of thing. And they wanted to kind of like influence the direction. Everybody was at that time. Because I hadn't decided what I knew at the time. And so the artists, I meant the artists, but the novelists, the playwrights, people in the literature, writers and professors, they would give me books, to turn me on to different authors. So, existentialism, well, they didn't give me any existential literature. But, like Don had me reading Dostoevsky's, Crime and Punishment, and The Devils, and Nikolai Gogol, The Diary of a Madman. And he exposed me to a lot of good literature, And at the same time, Babu was exposing me to a lot of Pan-Africanist literature, And, but no, me and Don Free, I tried to write a novel, 18 years old trying to write a novel. And what am I going to write about? And, but I learned though, that if you're going to be an artist, because also at one point I tried to learn to play sax, right? And I realized that I couldn't be a revolutionary and at the same time have the time to be a good musician or a good novelist. Mm-hmm. You got to choose. And so I chose revolution. When I was 21 years old in 1971, I was in jail, downtown county jail, Old County. Harold was there, And I organized the strike, because the trustees, we ran the jail, cleaned it up. And the court was downstairs, so we would clean up the courtroom, empty the trash can, mop them. We did everything. The inmates did. The trustees who was doing their time, not the people waiting to go to court. And so some things that went down there was kind of funky with the guards, and so I said, let's go on the strike. So I wrote out a leaflet, and about 5 of them circulated it to all the trustees. So we said, we're going to go on strike, and we're going to demand like that our mail is not read by the police. About 5 or 6 things. I don't remember all of them, but that was one of them. And we pulled it off. And I had a friend of mine, Christy, in jury, she got it into the LA Times. That was important. But anyway, this is the point. One of the old jellies, one of the old brothers, who've been in the penitentiary, 20, 30 years, all of his life, old, wise jail man, And so he told me, he said, you must really trust these police. I said, what do you mean I trust the police? I hate the police. What are you talking about? I must really trust the police. And he says they change shifts 3 times a day. They work from 8 to 2 and from 2 to 6 and from 6 to 12 or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. They have 3 shifts. And he said, you go to sleep. They're changing shifts. They're always looking at you. They're always alert. And you laying up here asleep. You must trust them to go to sleep around them. I said, brother, I never thought of it like that. And that was an experience. He knew that the police will kill you. And you don't confront the police and go to sleep. You don't make a revolution inside of a penitentiary. They will kill you like they did at Attica.
What do you do when you can't make a revolution and you are confronted with the rest of your life of either doing modest reform, mm-hmm. or go and get high, go and get drunk, get a job and sit down and be quiet? What do you do with that rest of your life?
I don't give individual advice.
Well, the question might be, what has he done?
He said he doesn't give individual advice.
You asked Lil Joe, what has he done since revolution didn't occur?
continues to work.
Yeah, you continue to work.
And I answered it.
You continue to work.
Every day.
Yeah, I do what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm here
Right,
trying to
you
talk,
analyze
trying
it.
to, talk to the next generation. I mean, I know I can't do it. I mean, I'm getting old. You know, I know what the limitations, get an opportunity to, because unfortunately, the discussion that I just had, that I just said about the strategy and tactics, unfortunately, I ain't heard it before.
There is absolutely a way that individuals can inject their own experiences into revolutionary fervor, especially with violence. Especially with violence, because Nat Turner provided courage to another generation and to others. So what do you say about that, Joe?
I say that
Not just
down through hundreds of years.
and I get your point. Believe me, I do. But I'm just thinking about the heroism of those Panthers in 1969, and I just want to know, what do you think? Those individual acts of courage are essential, though, right?
But it's essential when you organize it. I mean, I think that Frederick Douglass did was pretty essential as well.
Right, I do. I agree.
But he
I'm just
won.
trying to-
What'd you say?
He won. Nat Turner didn't win.
Well,
He was squashed like a
He
leaf.
was as an individual, but did the community gain something?
No more than they gained from John Brown. They don't gain anything. I mean, they can feel good, Well, I guess they may say, "Wow, I wish that he wouldn't have done that." But what's the name? Harriet Tubman do? Was that courage?
That was absolute courage as well.
So Nat Turner would have been more effective to do what she did. She got a whole lot of people out of slavery. She didn't just beat her chest and get shot. I'm not putting it down. You know what I'm saying? I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
but what
I
we're
just don't
talking
know
about,
what
what we're
it
talking about is,
negated.
what do we tell the next generation?
I understand, but I don't want to negate those individual acts of
No,
courage.
not
Even
negate them.
Jonathan Jackson,
No.
as much as I would still argue, that he wasn't developed enough to make that decision. To me, but I get your point.
yeah,
I won't negate. I just think that we have
Nat Turner
to.
wasn't developed like that.
How old was he though? He was much older. I thought he was much older than that.
They all young. It's all young.
Yeah,
people
yeah,
stand.
And that's why we say youth is wasted on the young. Children do all kinds of things
Yeah.
that they
And
wouldn't
that
do.
advances the world.
He
Well,
was.
okay.
He thought of himself. He thought of himself as a prophet. You know what I mean? He thought God was. Was
Talking to him.
He
Yeah.
was religious
Yeah.
fervor.
So I mean, I don't tell people to go to church because he went to church.